Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here with Elizabeth Scenes and Scents, and today we're going to be decorating this Christmas tree. A couple weeks ago I took a vote on Facebook and the popular theme that won is the Bohemian oranges and eucalyptus. So let's get started. The first things that we do when we're going to do a Christmas tree, if it's fake, is we're going to put it in a stand. We're going to fluff all the branches, which I did this morning with this. We're going to check that the lights work, and then if you're like me, I like to add more lights. So in the center here, there are extra lights on white string because this is a flocked tree that give it a little bit more dimension and a little bit more light. So the very first thing after that is to anchor in your star and to fiddle with your tree skirt or collar or whatever it is that you want to cover your base with. Now you can't really see it because I can't move my camera, but this tree collar is gold and it had kind of a large hole, almost like it should have been for a little bit bigger tree. So I stuffed some lights and a little bit of just filmy extra material in white inside to cover up that dark space so that everything that you see stays nice and soft and happy. So let's get started. The very first thing that goes in any of my Christmas trees are bulbs. On this tree, because we're doing a boho theme and everything is going to be very simple, I'm only going to use these beautiful sort of distressed green bulbs. If I was going to do a couple of the other themes that have been voted on, especially the white winter forest, I would be using this, plus lots of white and plus lots of gold, all in the center of the tree. So these are going to just go in here. They go into the center so that you get a little bit more light and a little bit more depth. Some of them just get laid into the tree and some of them hang depending on exactly how big a space there is next to the trunk. So with these, I just have them on florist's wire. I have a whole paddle of it for decorating. You're going to wire it down into the branch to make sure that it isn't going to roll off when the dogs come by or your toddler's jumping and shaking the tree. And for this particular design, I'm using about a dozen of these bulbs. As I said, with some of the other types that are more formal, that have a lot more sparkle, I would use probably 2 or 3 dozen. And we'll put them all in the center of the tree before we do anything else. Now, as long as we're here and we're going to be spending a good bit of time together, I'm really wondering, and you can leave it in the comments below, what is your favorite style of Christmas tree? I like the faked ones that have lots and lots of flocking, and some people can't stand that. They don't like the mess, they don't like the color. So I'm wondering what all of you prefer. And don't forget to kind of get them all the way around, because there are lots and lots of places where we can fill in holes. Okay, so that's a preliminary explanation, get that one in there, of filling the center, and you want to do that all the way up and down the trunk with your basic bulbs. Here's a good one, good spot right there. Okay, now since this is a rather simple tree, I have some garlands that are beaded. I have the possibility of using some ribbon. I have some beautiful straw ornaments. I'll show you those. This is sort of the Scandinavian side of this. These are handmade. I got them off of Etsy and they are gorgeous. So you can start on your tree with filling the inside and lighting that up if you want the style that I'm used to, where there's a lot of depth. Or there's kind of a newer style of tree decorating where you just kind of coat the outside with as many gigantic bulbs and loud ribbon as you can find, and then you put in lots of floral picks, and that is very pretty, but I just prefer a little bit more of that more old-fashioned style where you're really focusing on ornaments, really focusing on placement and layers. So I want these to have pride of place because they are just so beautiful. So I'm going to place these before I do any of my floral stems, before I do any of my beads, because I want them where I really can see them. And then you try to put larger ornaments down at the bottom, and maybe if you have the same style of ornament or something similar, we'll put this toward the top and this toward the base. Just helps with scale and perspective. So now we're going to go to the eucalyptus. I don't have a ton of it. I have a little bit here because I want this tree to be simple. Most of the time, like when I do my 7.5 foot that's out in the other room, I will spend hours poking things into holes to make it an absolutely dazzling display. But this will be a little simpler. I have two different kinds here. Actually, both of these are from Walmart, just don't tell anybody. And believe it or not, the tree is from Walmart, and the garland that's in here is from Walmart. I don't know what's the matter with me, but this year they just had everything I needed. And you want to pay special attention to filling in around your tree topper, because you don't want the transition to be just tree and then star. If you like to use your florals, at least, you want to sort of gradually come up to that point. And then there will be lots of these. These are the little oranges, and I actually did about half of what we're going to put in the tree in my own oven. It wasn't very hard. 200 degrees for about 3 hours, and then you just let them dry a little bit, and you have these beautiful oranges that you can stick into just about anything or make garlands, put them on your front door in a wreath. They're fantastic. And when you're thinking about floral sprays, which could be something simple like this or something extremely dramatic, you want to place them kind of either in a zigzag pattern or in triangles so that you don't have it all clumped in one spot. And again, larger toward the base. A little bit smaller toward the top. I happen to have one of my Scentsies that's melting right now. It's Mighty Pine, which is part of the holiday trio, and I have never had such a good scent from Scentsy when it comes to pine or spruce. I can't get enough of it, so I highly encourage you to check out my Wafting Wonderful Wax.scentsy.us to take a look at that product. And we'll just find the right places to put in our happy little bits of eucalyptus. All right, now next, I have these darling little vase filler balls, but I thought these would be super cool since we're going bohemian. This is going to go into the tree. It's going to fill in a hole. Decorating really isn't hard. We just have to learn how to have the right materials and not drop them and put them in the proper places. Too close, that's not good. Over here, that's better. Now, sometimes you have to stand back and see, is there somewhere on here where I've got them too close together? I would say these are too close. we'll move it. I think this one will go up here. That's better. And the last one, I'm going to go more into the tree, cover up a little bit of hole in the base. Okay, next, ooh, I have a whole bunch of other little straw ornaments. These guys are so cute. These, you can get this more mass produced, so I have a good number of these. And these can either hang or they can just be stuffed into the tree. There we go. Happy little ornaments. Very happy little ornaments. When I think of Christmas, I always think of baking, cooking, making lots of wreaths, which I love real greenery to make my wreaths. Christmas carols of all kinds and wrapping presents. And light drives. Usually we do a light drive going down to the Grosse Pointe area to see some of those spectacular homes that are all lit up. Now, where do I need one of these? I need one here. Need a couple more down here. You can think of a tree almost like a giant floral arrangement. So you just want to look at the whole thing together and how the pieces are sort of talking to each other. Are they having a happy conversation or are they starting to get mad? For the sake of this video, I'm decorating mostly the front because that's what we can see. But afterwards, that's my dog. Afterwards, I will go and fill in the rest of it to be able to make this attractive all the way around. And Truth says, Mom, why aren't you letting me in, you terrible lady? Because he'd probably get in the way and knock something over. All right. Here are all my oranges. And these are the theme that's going throughout my house this year. So another thing to consider is that when you're decorating for Christmas or really any other holiday, that you consider how different pieces can be consistent to give you a theme throughout the house. So my front room is going to be more white and gold and more dramatic, and my back room here is a little bit simpler, and it does have more orange because I have an orange couch that I'm working with that you can't see. It's a really deep, almost a burnt orange leather from IKEA that we've had for a long time. So orange and green isn't very Christmassy, but I try to work with it and keep everything cohesive with a lot of white, some gold, and then this year I'm able to use the oranges, and they're festive, but they still keep the color and the palette together so I don't really fight it. The oranges are so beautiful. And I'm going to be layering these, usually two to a place on the tree. I lost one. Oh, goodness. Now, most of the time, you would put in your dramatic ribbon first, but because we're going to be doing garland or a very gentle, simple ribbon, I'm going to do that last this time. Why I'm doing two oranges is because they're rather small and it gives a little bit more visual impact. Whoop. Orange down. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, I do have some really, really cute little ornaments that are made out of felt that are like little woodland creatures. And I have foxes. Whoops! Dropping everything. I always drop everything. I have these little foxes that I got from Pier 1 a few years ago, and I almost always put them in my tree here in the back room because they are orange, but they're still kind of woodland creature and a little festive. So now these are going to be kind of a focal point, so we really have to think about where they are going. 5 of them. So on a tree this size, 3 to 5 of a major element is enough. If you have a larger tree that you're decorating, you really want to go up to maybe 7 or 9 of an element that you want to repeat. I would also love to know, what is your favorite creature or theme as far as like nutcrackers, snowmen, reindeer that you like to decorate with? I always seem to go back to the deer, the foxes, I like squirrels, I like owls, I like all of the woodland creatures. All right, so we've got 3 in. I have 2 left. One of them needs to go down over here. And I'm going to step back and figure out, where does the last one need to go? All right, there we have 5 little foxes. Now next, I have some really, really cute little guys. I got these from Target last year. They might still have something similar because they often repeat themes. This little guy is going to go right in the front. He's my favorite. Yeah, right there. And then this one, I think we'll put him right here. Yes, very happy. This would be a rather child-friendly tree because most of the ornaments are not fancy, they're not breakable. This one we'll put toward the bottom. Like I talked about scale, he's a little bit bigger. And then this little guy, this one's rather Norwegian or Swedish. He's really cute. Where do I need him? I think I need him here. Now he's heavy, so he will pull the branch downward. There we go. So he's really gonna sink into the tree. Oh, can't forget the last one of these. This one goes at the top. And we're starting to see the personality of this tree come together. We have all the natural elements and the color palette is consistent. Ooh, now. I bought a whole bunch of these, but I've used them in many places. These are those little bells that are all over Instagram and Etsy, and they're in all of the catalogs. And I have them on a wire like this, so that if you bump the tree, they'll jingle. Now I'm going to put them on an angle so that what you see are the 2 bells hanging. And I started out with a whole sack full, but they've gone all over the house, so at this moment I've only got 6 left. Let's see, down here. They'll probably jingle better down here. Ah, we lost a bell. Okay, now I have some random ornaments, just some little guys. This is one of my daughter's favorites. Little narwhal, little llama, and just a cute little rustic star that I thought went with the theme. I'm placing the llama so he peeks out of the tree over here rather than looking into it, so that you don't really see him. And Mr. Narwhal, I think, will go down kind of on the outside down here. Yes, again, so that we really see him. Okay, now, what is an old-fashioned orange-filled Christmas tree without some cinnamon sticks to go with? We're just gonna tuck those in. Okay. These don't have a ton of smell, but if you buy really fresh ones, I bet that they do. These are kind of old. but they're going to give me the look I want, right? You can get very creative with Christmas ornaments. It doesn't have to be the tube from Sam's where everything is matchy-matchy. Right? Okay, now I have 3 very large green pine cones. And you can wrap your string so that these hang really well right off the branch rather than having a big gap between the branch and the ornament. I have a thing with pine cones. I have pine cones of all sorts in my trees. All right, so we have 1, 2, so number 3 should go up here. Fill in this space. Beautiful. Okay, now I have to decide, do I want ribbon or do I want beads or do I want both? So I'm going to try a couple of things and see what I like. I have a friend who hates the beads, but these are fantastic and they're very bohemian. So let's see what happens. Now this is a very heavy, chunky garland, so I wouldn't want a lot of this. A little bit will go a long way. Okay, I do really like that, so we're going to put the other one in. Now this one, I'm going to use up higher and I'm going to zigzag it so that I can see probably 3 passes of this type of bead. Now I'm going to take a look and see how much more do I want. I definitely think that we need more of the other bead. These are easy to come by at Michael's and other stores. Just your good old-fashioned plain wooden beads. I love them. Should have untangled them first before we started. Okay. Let's put some beads on. Ooh. And this is where things really start to come together. I love the drippy drapiness of these wonderful wooden beads. Now this isn't taking a terribly long time to do, but I did do a lot of pre-planning and a lot of thinking and organizing of the items that I was going to use. Whoop. Make sure you tuck your beads in so they don't go escaping on you. We have to look at the top of the tree here. All right. Now for a little bit of added drama, I am going to put a small amount of ribbon that will drip down the sides at the top. That isn't really very bohemian, but it's very Elizabeth. So I have 2 different styles. I've got a sheer orange and I've got a narrow satin. Now you almost always in your trees use wired ribbon, but I'm not looking for that stiff big loop that you use in your traditional decorating. This is much more organic and much more relaxed than we're doing today. So we guess at exactly how long we need this. Let me try this more. Kid scissors are a must. You don't want rough edges on your ribbons. It just makes something that you've worked very hard on look unfinished, and that's frustrating. Step stools are a good idea. I didn't think this tree was so tall. But here, I'm going to put in a bow. Right. Just a beautiful, soft, trailing ribbon to add just that little bit of dressed up drama to the top. Beautiful. All right. Now you got to play with the ribbon and make sure it's happy. Cranky ribbon makes for a cranky tree. Now last, I usually like to have some finishing element that adds a little bit more texture and drama. And because we're doing the Scandinavian theme, I have wheat. I'm using this in a lot of the decorating in this room. So we're going to do clusters. I'm going to start up here. We're going to add a little bit of fullness to the top around the star. It has beautiful sprays. Yes. See how we're getting a little bit of drama up there now? Relatively speaking. Here, maybe. There we go. All right, I need one more there. Very nice. Okay, now I'm going to just tuck a few more bits in. Clusters of 3 seem to work for the scale of this tree. If it was larger, I might do bundles of 5 or 6. And again, this is repeating color and texture. Everything is very natural. Everything is very organic. This would be pretty here. Think about each branch as an opportunity to lay something out on it when you're talking about your florals. So you look for a place that seems a little bare, and then you lay your floral into that branch, almost like here, if it was on your hand as the branch. Like this. So, that's my tree. I'm going to take a moment to give you a close-up of some of the things that are in the room at the end of the video, and I really appreciate you spending some time with me. Again, Elizabeth at Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents, and I hope you have a wonderful day and you enjoy my Bohemian Scandinavian tree. Bye-bye. So here is a much better close-up of the tree that we created together. There's all sorts of wonderful texture and little moments of happiness in here. All the beads, all the ribbons, all the straw ornaments. Just beautiful. And then to show you how it goes with the rest of the room, this is a Florida room with lots of windows, and here is the other garland. I have these darling floating lanterns, which are much more dramatic at night. And that couch that I was telling you about. And little Miss Kenya down here has decided she needs to take a nap. So we go all the way around and see the beautiful tree. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Christmas season and that you enjoy decorating. Bye-bye.